So what equipment do you need to be successful on YouTube? Well, I teamed up with my buddy Nick and we're going over some things that you need to think about when it comes to equipment, and we're also gonna go through some practical things that you need when you're creating videos on your channel. If you're new here to this channel, my name is Jevin Dovey. I like to do filmmaking tutorials, project reviews, go on adventures, and also I like helping creators find success on YouTube. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss one of these videos. So guys, we're talking about the essential equipment that you need to start your YouTube channel and to find success on YouTube. And it's actually pretty simple. You just need a camera and your phone will do. That's essentially all you need. I could just end the video right here. But seriously, when it comes to equipment, you really only need to start with what you have. And I really want you to focus on your content more than the gear. I wanted to do this video to give you guys some practical advice on some things to consider. So as you're building your kit, as you're growing your kit, as you're making more videos and you want to improve things like audio, like cameras, like lighting, these are some things that you need to start thinking about. And also in this video, I'm gonna have Nick show his setup and he'll give you some tips on some things that you need to consider as well. If you haven't met Nick before, he's an awesome creator that's sharing tons of YouTube secrets so that you can grow your channel.
Thanks, Jevin. My name is Nick Nimmin, and I teach people how to grow YouTube channels, make videos, and all types of other YouTube-related stuff. And I'm excited to talk about the equipment that is needed for, or not needed, I should say, but partially needed here on YouTube.
So let's talk about like the basic kit that you need to create content. Like I said, if you just want to start with your phone, just go for it. But there are a few things that you should consider getting right out of the gate. And so the first thing is obviously your camera choice. And so like if you have a GoPro, you can use it, your phone, you can have a point and shoot, you could have a mirrorless camera. Like there's so many options for cameras and it all depends on what you are trying to create and the goals as a creator. Now, one thing you should consider is getting a camera with a flip out screen because then you could see yourself. If you have one of these cameras where, you know, the screen's on the other side, it's gonna be a challenge when it comes to creating content. So you need some way to see yourself. Now with the GoPro, it's obviously so wide that you can get away with, you know, not having a flip out screen, but you are kind of guessing all the time. You're trying to figure out the best position to put the GoPro to get the best shot. Now, the next thing you need to consider is a tripod. This is just a little mini tripod that I have, and this I can set down anywhere. Joby tripods are a great tool that you could use because they can wrap to anything. Right now, I have a tripod sitting here that my camera is on, and this allows me to set my camera down and sit and have it at eye level. You need to make sure that you have your camera at eye level because that's gonna be a good looking shot. So when you're doing a tripod, you don't wanna be like looking down or like looking up. So you wanna make sure that you have something you can put yourself at eye level. And if you just have like a small tripod, then consider using like a table or something else to put this on so that your camera can be right here.
When it comes to gear, another thing that is really important is the sound, because audio is half of the video experience. So it's really important to make sure that you're getting very good sound in your videos, because people will tolerate a video that's not amazing if the sound is good, but they will not tolerate a video where the sound sucks and the video is good. So because of that, audio is extremely important. So for this, you have options like a shotgun mic, for example. You can put this right on top of your camera. This is great, especially if you're doing vlogging style content. You also have things like a lavalier mic. With the lavalier mic, this allows you to hide it in your clothing so that you can get audio from afar, or so that you can at least get it close to you. And then another thing as well when it comes to shotgun mics is the audio that you're hearing right now. The microphone literally is, if I do this, and then I put it to my mouth in the microphone, I'm touching the microphone right now. I'm actually gonna go ahead and pull it down so you can see how close the microphone is to my mouth, right? So the idea is that you wanna get the microphone as close to you as possible, because if it's close to you, it's gonna give you more presence in the audio, and overall, it's gonna help your audio sound better, especially when it comes to processing. Now, another thing that's extremely important when it comes to making videos is your lighting. And the reason that lighting is so important is because you want people to be able to see what's going on in the video, but lighting also has a second role, and that is actually designing your scene, kind of like Jevin and I do. So if you look at what you're seeing on your screen right now, you see that blue background that I have behind me, and then I have two lights that are hitting me from each side. So basically this set was designed to look this way by using lighting. But you do not have to spend a lot of money on light. You can actually go to a hardware store and you can put together a lighting kit for extremely cheap, just using work lights and daylight balanced bulbs.
Okay, so now that we've gone over some of the basics when it comes to the gear that you wanna use, I'm gonna show you my setup here. Something I think is important for creators, especially people that do like tutorials and people that are creating how-tos, is having a home base. This office is my home base, and I've been working on this background over time. You don't have to have this to start, but I highly suggest thinking about it, like what is your setup? What is your home base? What are you always coming back to? And it could be as simple as just one of your rooms and you're facing a window, and that is your lighting. You don't have to have all the bells and whistles to make something like this work. So I'm gonna switch over to my vlog setup, and I'm gonna just show you around my office real quick. All right, so let me show you my office. And basically my setup is broken down into a few things. I have my closet here, which has all my gear, and I've lit this with some LEDs. I've got a little light over here that does the award. I've got my LEDs back here. But the idea being is that with this setup, what I'm essentially doing is creating two pools of light. So you basically want to create one pool of light for you, the subject, and that's gonna be lit differently than your background. So that's one idea. When you're creating your office, you wanna light things independently, and you don't wanna focus all your light just on you. You also wanna think about things in your background, and that's why I use this mix of color lighting. And then I also have this guy over here, which is an LED that's shooting on the ceiling to just bring up the general ambience of the room. And the reason for that is I block out my windows. And when I block out my windows, I have complete control over all the lighting in my office. So as you learn more about lighting and as you get better when it comes to lighting, you can start controlling the light better. But like I said, if you just wanted to use a window to light yourself, you could, set your camera down here and use a window light. Let me bring this down a little bit. But you could do your videos like this where you have just your window light illuminating your face. And that's a great way to start, and a great way to just begin with lighting is use windows and try to get away from harsh lighting. Try to get away from direct sunlight. You want to have more soft light. So when it comes to my setup right here, essentially I have a microphone above, like that gives me the best audio for my space in here, is having a shotgun mic that sits above me. Right now I'm using my microphone on top of the camera. This is like the vlog setup, but I have one light. This is an Aperture 120D that's lighting me for my face. I have my Panasonic GH5 tied into this microphone, and that's just how I have this whole thing set up. This is like my home base, so I can shoot all of my content here for everything that I'm doing. So all my YouTube videos, this is something that I could always come back to and filter in extra content. So if I don't fully shoot something when I'm out in the field, I can come back here and talk about a topic here in my studio. Also for me, I do a lot of online courses, and this is essentially my space where I create all of that content. This is always set up. That's something to think about. Can you have a setup somewhere where you always have it set up? Because when you have something always set up, it's easier to make content. You can just sit down, flip on the camera, and start going. One of the hardest things is to always be resetting your gear every time that you want to create a video. And so I highly suggest pushing you as you're creating more content and as you're going down this path of doing more YouTube videos, is finding a space that's yours. Finding a space, even if it's just a corner of your house somewhere, like find a space that is you where you can have your stuff set up and always be able to create content. Now, Nick, let's take a look at your space and how you have everything set up when you're creating content.
Now, my in-studio setup looks like this. Basically, I have two different sets that I have. Technically, I have three because I just recently built this other one as well. But you can see here that I have an Aperture light over here that I use as one of the main lights that you see for this particular set. On the other side, remember how I was telling you about hacking together a lighting kit at a hardware store? Well, this is just that, but just one level up from that. Basically, inside of these can lights, I just have a normal daylight balanced bulb. But it definitely gets the job done, and the foundation of my YouTube channel were built on this particular lighting setup. Now, as you can see here in this particular situation, my camera is extremely close to my microphone because for this standing set, basically my microphone, I have it as close to me as possible to make sure that my sound is gonna come through okay. And of course I have the camera and the audio recorder set up with the microphone running through that so that all I have to do, and Jevin mentioned this earlier, all I have to do is just turn it on and then I'm ready to start making videos for this particular set. Now this area over here that I was showing you before, I have the camera that sits on the tripod, which is actually the camera that I'm using to shoot this right now. But I also have the audio recorder here that I route my audio through so that I can make sure that I get a good good signal. And then I also have a little monitor here since the particular Sony a6500 that I'm using doesn't have a flip screen. I have a little tablet that I keep here right in front of me that I put bullet points or notes on for the videos that I'm making. And for the blue lights that you see in the background, I also have can lights, just like the other ones that I showed you. And instead of having daylight balance bulbs in there, I have hue lights in there. And that way I can change the colors to whatever I want if I want to change the scene up.
So let's talk about vlog style for a moment. So vlogging is a style, it's not like a type of content. And I think a lot of people confuse vlogging with what you're creating, not how you're creating. So YouTube in general, you need to have a specific niche. We've talked about this. You need to have a specific thing that you're doing. Vlogging is not like a thing. Vlogging is a style. So right now I'm vlogging. I'm walking around with a camera. I have a microphone on top. I have my camera, a nice wide lens. This is an 8mm, which is equivalent to a 16mm if you're using a full frame camera. I'm using a micro four thirds camera. And then I have my tripod on the bottom. And this is essentially my vlog setup. But a vlog setup basically allows you to create content on the go wherever you're going. So you could be walking and talking, you could be setting it down somewhere, but like this is the kind of content where you're on the go, moving, and you're creating this kind of style where you're taking someone to a place and they're experiencing it with you through this style of content. So I think for YouTubers, it's important to have different styles of content. If you have a home base that you're always coming back to, that is great, but don't make all your content from your home base. Get outside once in a while and go other places. And I think that's important for creators to remember, is that your home base is your home base, but that is not the only place that you want to create content. And that's why this kind of vlog style content is a good thing to add to your channel and something that you should consider adding into the videos that you're creating. You could always go back to your home base. So you could be shooting content out on the go, and then if you don't get everything that you need for a video, go back to your home base and then you can finish up the video there. Or it's just like, you know, it's that comfortable spot where people know what to expect from this. You have that good, consistent look and feel, but once in a while you're getting out and you're doing something different, because that's important with YouTube, is to not only be consistent with your branding and everything like that, but also, you know, bring something new once in a while to your channel. As you're building out your kit and you want to improve like one little thing, focus on one thing at a time, whether it's a microphone, your new lens, new tripod, whatever it is. You just always gotta be thinking about what can you do to improve your videos and get your videos looking a little bit better.
First, Jevin, I want to say that I love that creator hat. That's awesome. But outside of that, also when it comes to my vlog setup, basically I use this setup right here. It's a Sony a6500, and I connect my Rode VideoMic Pro to that a6500 so that I can make sure that I have really good sound when I'm out and about. And of course, when I am doing a vlog setup, I actually also prefer to go with a wide lens. The one that I use is a Sony 10 to 18mm lens. And personally, I just love it, again, because it is so wide and it makes it easy for me to stay in the frame, even though I might not be able to see the viewfinder on my camera. And attached to that camera and microphone, I'll either have it on a really small tripod that I can just kind of grip in my hand, or I'll put it on a Gorilla Grip so that I can attach it to things while I'm out and about. Now, the next video in the series, you can watch it right here, right now. Just go ahead and click it. But that video is about the 20 biggest mistakes that new YouTubers make. It's important that you make sure you watch that video because a lot of content creators make a lot of mistakes and it costs them their growth. So make sure that you check it out now. We'll see you over there.